there's nothing here. What do we do now?
Just stall him. I don't know what else to do.
Ah, so that's what did it, huh? Not the chaos, not the pressure, not the rumors they kept whispering when they thought you weren't listening. No, no, no. The moment everything shifted was when you finally stopped explaining yourself. Who? You should have seen their faces, like someone unplugged their certainty, and the whole room dimmed because they were so used to you handing them maps, clarifying your intentions, smoothing every wrinkle so they could sleep at night, making sure nobody misinterpreted the slightest move you made. How adorable. But now you walk in silence. A different kind of silence. A silence they can't decode. A silence that makes their lungs tighten, makes their little hearts do that nervous tap, tap, tap. Because they don't know what you're thinking anymore. And people fear what they can't read. People panic when their favorite predictable character stops playing predictable. People lose their minds when the one they underestimated suddenly becomes the one with nothing left to prove. Look who's breathing steady. Look who's not chasing validation. Look who's not begging to be understood. You. And look who's sweating now. Them. See? The moment you stopped explaining yourself, that's the moment the whole narrative snapped. The hierarchy flipped. The power quietly changed hands. And nobody told them. Surprise. You just became the most dangerous version of yourself. The version that moves without permission and doesn't flinch. The day you went quiet, everything changed. Not because you slammed a door, not because you staged some dramatic exit. No, you simply stopped feeding them the explanations they were addicted to, and the entire room felt it like a sudden temperature drop. See? People had grown comfortable with you narrating your every move, comfortable with you translating your thoughts so they wouldn't misinterpret anything, comfortable with you softening your edges so they didn't have to feel threatened. You were their safety blanket, their decoder ring, their personal reassurance machine. But when the explanations dried up, when the updates stopped, when the "here's what I meant" vanished, oh, that's when the panic started. Humans don't fear the dark. They fear not knowing what's inside it. And you, in that moment, became the thing in the dark. Because silence from someone they underestimated hits different. It rewrites the script. It removes their ability to predict you. And nothing terrifies a controlling mind more than losing its predictions. They weren't scared of you talking. They were scared of you not talking, of you no longer shrinking yourself into digestible explanations, of you evolving past their need for certainty. And in that silence, something else happened. A shift, a crack in their illusion of control. They realized they couldn't read you anymore, and people hate what they can't read. Your quiet wasn't compliance. It wasn't confusion. It wasn't defeat. It was signal. A signal that you no longer needed their permission. A signal that you weren't playing their emotional babysitting game. A signal that the version of you they depended on no longer existed. And the room froze because deep down they knew silence is the language of power. And suddenly, you were fluent. You didn't notice it at first. How could you? You were busy being clear, busy being transparent, busy explaining yourself, so nobody could twist your intentions. But that's the trick, isn't it? The more you explained, the more material they gathered. Every clarification became ammunition. Every honest detail became a blade they could turn sideways and press against your reputation. They never wanted understanding. They wanted leverage. You'd offer sincerity. They'd extract weakness. You'd offer context. They'd tear it apart and rearrange it to whatever narrative suited them that day. Your clarity, their playground. Your voice, their toolkit, like leeches sipping at a wound they secretly hoped would never heal, like scribes desperate for ink to keep rewriting your story in a version that favored them, like interrogators who felt powerful only when you kept talking. But then, you stopped. You cut the supply. You unplugged the pipeline. You locked the vault of your intentions and threw away the spare key. And suddenly, they had nothing left to twist, nothing left to dissect, nothing left to weaponize. You didn't pull away. You didn't shut down. You didn't become distant. You evolved. Your silence forced them to return to their own empty rooms, their own shaky assumptions, their own hollow imagination. And without your explanations to exploit, they were left speechless, a terrifying condition for people who relied on controlling the narrative. Watch how quickly an interrogator crumbles when the suspect stops talking. Watch how a gossip starves when the source dries up. Watch how the parasites scatter when the blood disappears. That's what your silence did. It didn't punish them. It exposed them. It revealed who they were when they no longer had your voice to hide behind. And now they're scrambling, panicking, clawing for a version of you that no longer lives here. Because once you evolve, you never go back. They keep saying you changed, like it happened overnight, like you woke up one morning and decided to become someone else. How cute. You didn't change. You just removed the noise, the unnecessary commentary, the emotional subtitles you used to provide, so everyone could follow along. See, there's a transformation they never saw. You went from reactive to observant, from observant to directive, from directive to untouchable. A quiet evolution, a slow burn, a shift they were too busy judging to actually notice. But now that the results are standing in front of them, now they panic. Because the new you isn't chaotic. You're calculated. You're deliberate. You're controlled in a way they don't have access to anymore. Funny, isn't it? How they call it rudeness when the puppet cuts its own strings. How they call it ego when the doormat gets up and becomes a door they can't open. How they call it attitude when the predictable character stops reciting the script they wrote. But silence. Oh, silence is what really scares them. Because silence isn't absence. Silence is control. Silence is choosing when to speak and when to let their assumptions eat them alive. You're not quieter. You're sharper. You're listening differently. You're observing how people behave when you stop holding their hand and when someone stops justifying themselves. That's when the real motives surface. Not yours, theirs. Your restraint exposes their chaos. Your calm exposes their insecurity. Your silence exposes their dependency on the older version of you that over-explained everything. This new version, this is you operating at full voltage. This is you without the weight. This is you without the script. This is you without the leash. And that's why they swear you're different. Because for the first time, you're not performing. You're not bending. You're not translating your worth into terms they can handle. You didn't just graduate from explaining yourself. You graduated from needing to be understood. The moment you stopped narrating your life, their behavior shifted, not subtly, not gradually, instantly. Whispers, side glances, sudden pauses when you walk in. People pretending they're just checking something when really they're studying you, like a ticking device. Missing its label, because now they have to guess, and guesswork is a cruel game. For people who rely on control, they start overthinking your silence, overanalyzing the way you place a cup down, interpreting the smallest sigh like it's a coded message, scrutinizing your micro-expressions if they're trained interrogators, and you're the suspect who won't break. They invent explanations because they can't handle the vacuum. They create theories, scenarios, conspiracies, just to fill in the spaces your silence carved out. And the best part? Every imagined version of your intentions worse than anything you would have actually said. Their own fear becomes the narrator. Their own insecurity becomes the soundtrack. Their own guilt becomes the plot twist. That's the beauty of the shadow test. You don't expose people by confronting them. You expose them by standing still and watching what their minds do in the dark space of your quiet. Your silence casts a shadow, one they have to walk through. And shadows don't lie. They stretch, they distort, they reveal who jumps at their own reflection. Power flips the moment you stop performing for the audience, the moment you stop offering explanations to soothe their fragile interpretations, the moment you stop reassuring people who never had your best interest to begin with. Now they're the ones scrambling. They're the ones decoding nothing. They're the ones checking your every move, like you're the unpredictable storm they hoped would never arrive. Your unpredictability? It's not chaos, it's strategy. A psychological confrontation without a single raised voice. A silent war where the loudest sound is their heartbeat speeding up. And the terrifying thing is, you haven't even made your next move yet. You've simply refused to announce it. There's a moment, quiet, invisible, almost surgical, when they finally understand the truth. Control was never in the hands of the loudest voice, or the most dramatic critic, or the person who demanded you clear things up. Control always belonged to the one who could walk away from interpretation. And you walked away. You stopped negotiating your identity like it was some contract up for review. You stopped letting their opinions bend your spine. You stopped performing for approval that never came without conditions. And now they're choking on the realization that you don't need their permission for anything. See, they were comfortable when they believed your worth was something they could vote on. But the moment you reclaimed it privately, quietly, without announcement, the air changed. It got thin for them, because now they're breathing inside a world where your silence carries more force than your explanations ever did. Joker-style truth. Locked doors are only scary when you know the person inside isn't waiting for you. Unmarked paths are unsettling because no map can predict where they lead. And mirrors that bite back, those are the reflections people avoid at all costs. Your silence became that mirror. It returned their projections with teeth, and that's when the reversal hit. The moment they realized they fear your quiet more than your voice, your stillness more than your arguments, your distance more than your presence, because words can be debated, explained, twisted, dismantled. But silence is sovereign. Silence is uncooperative. Silence refuses to supply ammunition to the insecure. And nothing terrifies a controlling mind more than losing the ability to define you. You didn't slam the door. You locked it from the inside, then walked deeper into yourself without looking back, and they felt the shift, that invisible snap of power leaving their hands and returning to yours, all without a sound. Here's the part that always plays out the same way. The moment they realize they can't read you anymore, they start trying to rewrite you. They scramble to re-explain. You to anyone who will listen, to regain a sense of control. 2. Rebuild the narrative they lost. The second, you stopped supplying commentary. They chase conversations, they chase clarity, they chase updates, reactions, signals, anything to feel like they still have access to the version of you they used to manipulate. But you're already gone, not physically, psychologically. You moved to a level they can't reach with panic, gossip, or interrogation. And now the inversion begins. The hunter becomes the hunted. The observer becomes the spectacle. The one who once tracked your every word, now trailing behind you, desperate for any clue to decode your silence. Meanwhile, you're calm, unbothered, almost amused, like watching someone chase their own shadow and swear it's running from them. They throw questions at you like fishing lines, hoping you'll bite, hoping you'll slip back into your old rhythm of over-explanation. But you don't, because you've lost interest in dancing around their misunderstandings. Now they dance around yours. They guess, they assume, they spin theories like broken compass, straying to point north while the magnet is gone. They call you mysterious, cold, hard to read. But those labels don't sting. They expose their desperation, their need for access they no longer deserve. Joker-tone truth. Predators panic when their prey stops running. They trip over themselves, trying to interpret stillness as strategy. And they're right, because you're not running, you're not hiding, you're not defending, you're simply moving without announcing your route. And that drives them crazy, because once the chase flips direction, nothing in their world feels stable. They don't want answers anymore. They want relief. Relief from the silence that keeps reminding. Theme you slipped out of their hands long before they noticed. This is where everything reaches that sharp, unavoidable peak, the point where your silence stops being an inconvenience and becomes a legend. Because now, people don't just notice it, they talk about it. They whisper theories, they trade guesses. Your silence becomes myth, a rumor, a tension in the room. No one can quite name, but everyone feels. They project onto you like you're some blank canvas they can't decipher. Fear, admiration, curiosity, resentment, all of it lands on you because you no longer tell them what to think. And that's the power. You stand there, unbothered, deliberate, unreadable, a presence that doesn't explain, justify, or soften itself for anyone's comfort. Perception freezes, locks in place, because once someone becomes unexplainable, they become untouchable. You don't argue, you don't defend, you don't correct the stories they invent in their own panic. You simply exist, which, ironically, is the very thing that suffocates them, the Joker truth they refuse to admit. You stopped explaining yourself, and they started suffocating. They can't breathe in the vacuum you created. They can't survive without the certainty you used to hand out like candy. Your silence presses on their chest, tightens the air around them, makes every assumption feel heavier than the last. Because silence, real silence, is domination. It's the move that snaps the final thread between who you were and who you've become. And now, you don't chase, you don't warn, you don't even look back. You stand there in that cold, controlled power stance, the kind that tells the whole room, you don't need noise to be dangerous. No outro, no explanation, no fade out, just you, silent, steady, and entirely in control.